forms an intimate relationship, gives responsibility, and gives the gift of creativity. I'm running out of time, so let me move to the last point. And that is a new view of the relationship of science and religion. It comes from Darwin and evolution. Dawkins and others have what we call a conflict model of the relationship between science and religion. The Bible says one thing, science says the other thing, you've got to choose one or the other. And lots of people use that kind of argument. In fact, that argument was created in 1864. It was created by Thomas Henry Huxley and a secret club which he formed called the X Club of a number of scientists of the day. And they were interested in how science threw off the leadership of the church. You see, in 1841, to be Professor of Astronomy at Durham University, you had to be an ordained Anglican clergyman to be the Professor of Astronomy. In order to be the President of the British Association of Science, you had to be an ordained Anglican clergyman, if not a bishop, to do it. And Huxley and a number of others said, the church can't be in control of science. We need science to have its own arena. And so he created the conflict hypothesis on the basis, he thought, that if we have a simple model to show that science and religion are different and distinct from each other, then the church will get out of science. And so at that point, a number of books were written in which the whole history of science and religion were recast. Books with titles such as The Warfare of Science and Religion were written. And so incidents like the Galileo affair were rewritten, not as a struggle, a very complicated struggle between Aristotelian philosophy and the new science, which the Galileo affair really was, but between the church and the Bible. It really wasn't about that as such. And Darwin himself was recast as fighting this battle between science and religion. Of course, this conflict hypothesis is far too simplistic. Life is more complicated than that, isn't it? Let me use an old illustration. If I asked you this evening, what is a kiss? You could reply, a kiss is the approach of two pairs of lips, the reciprocal transmission of carbon dioxide and microbes, and the juxtaposition of two orbicular muscles in a state of contraction. That is a kiss in scientific terms. But if I go to my wife when I see her back in the UK next Monday and say to her, Alison, let me get together with you for a mutual transmission of carbon dioxide and microbes. Let me juxtapose my orbicular muscle in a state of contraction with yours. She would say, get lost. Or in other words, the scientific description is fine, but it's not sufficient in these circumstances. You see, with my wife, I want to talk about a kiss in terms of meaning, value, and purpose. Which is the true definition of a kiss? Is it the one about carbon dioxide and microbes, or the one about meaning, value, and purpose? Actually, both are true, but different. And to fully understand a kiss, I need to understand both. When it comes to evolution and creation, I want as a scientist to take very seriously the science, the how things happen in the universe. But there are other questions of meaning, value, and purpose, which are just as important. They're not in conflict with the science. They are complementary to the science. And so my attempt, my passion, is to see science as a gift from God and to hold the two together. That's why I've tried to suggest to you this evening, it's a matter of evolution and creation, rather than evolution or creation. Of course, I haven't answered all of the questions in that and, but I think it's more true to history and to science and to theology to be committed to both evolution and creation. Thank you very much. You've been very attentive.